All right, first and foremost, all thanks and praises unto our power, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Wa Rakakwadash. Peace, blessings, much respect to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, on down to the rest of the elders who rule well within Israel. Salutations to the hopeful elect throughout the four corners of this whole entire earth, no matter where, whom they may be, or what they may look like, pushing out this purified truth to the rest of the church who believe as well. You men who may not be teachers or prophets, you women, sons and daughters also, and the water to Yahweh Shai, because without him enduring and going to that cross for the nation of Israel and the nation of Israel alone, none of this would even be possible whatsoever. So I did a video. What's the name of this video here? So I did a video and I titled it, Defend One Another from the Lying Tongue. And within this video, there was a question that came up in my comment board section. And it's from Ayasha Shal Ya'awada. It says, Shalom, the water for this lesson. Salakia, if this question is not relevant, how does 144% truth, as often said, fits in with 1 Corinthians 13 and 9, trying to sincerely understand? And then I responded, I'll try and touch on this ASAP. So now would be a good time for us to touch on this. So let's start off in the book of 1 Corinthians. Chapter 13 and verse 9. For we know in part and we prophesy in part. So when you hear that, you may take that as in we don't have all the truth. We only know portion of the truth. But that's not the case. What this is referencing is, see, everything that the Lord wanted us to know, he's given us. When it comes to our salvation, when it comes to things that actually matter pertaining deliverance, pertaining what's the requirements of being delivered to be saved from what's to come, we know 100% truth. And then brothers will say 144% truth because it's just a fancier way of saying 100% truth. There really is no difference between 100% and 144%. Once you hit 100, that's as perfect as you're going to get. Okay? For we know in part and we prophesy in part. So an example, we tell you that destruction is coming to America. Now we can't tell you, okay, who's going to be the first country to send their nukes off? Who's going to be the first person to get snatched up by Esau when Esau rolls on us? How many stars are in the constellation? What are the names of all the planets in Hebrew? What are the real names, right? There are things that we don't know, but the things that we do know are the things that we teach. And those things pertain unto your salvation. For we know in part and we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away. So when the time comes, when we get the kingdom of heaven, things that we don't necessarily know now, we will fully understand. But the Lord has given us all that he wants us to know, being the 144% truth, which is no different than saying 100%, as in when it comes to your salvation, when it comes to deliverance, when it comes to things that are weightier, we teach on those things 100%. Let's jump down to 12. For now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know even as also I am known. So it says, for now we see through a glass darkly. Imagine living out in the middle of the woods somewhere. Let's say you lived in a cabin and it's dark outside. There's no lights outside. And as you look out your window, you're able to tell, okay, those are trees. Okay, that's clearly a bush. but I can't really tell you what's behind the trees. I can't tell you, you know, how many trees is out there exactly. But I can kind of see that there's trees out there. I can kind of see that there's bushes out there. The Lord has given us insight on what he wants us to know. Okay? You looking out the window and it's dark outside. You may not be able to see what kind of bird you're looking at, but you can tell, okay, there's a bird out there. You may not be able to see a certain individual that's outside because maybe his face is covered or whatever, but you know that there's a person outside. So we know enough concerning our salvation. So we prophesy in part, which does not take away 144% truth on things that matter. Okay? We can't tell you exactly when the day of destruction is going to come. We prophesy in part. We can't tell you who exactly is of the elect. We prophesy in part. We can't tell you when a great time of swift judgment hits the earth, what state or what states are going to be affected first. Is it going to happen with all states at the same time? Is it going to start with here first or there first? We prophesy in part, which does not take away. We have 100% truth when touching on this ministry. Okay. Let's jump to 1 John. Yeah, I'll stop reading that. Let's jump to 1 John. Why am I not seeing it right now? I'm tripping. All right. 1 John chapter 2 and verse 21. And it reads this. I have not written unto you because ye know not the truth, but because ye know it, and that no lie is of the truth. So when we teach, we are not to teach any form of lie to you. We are to give you this truth and what's been given to us. And seeing that we prophesy in part, we don't know if destruction's coming a month from now, 2 months from now, 6 months from now. Okay? We know it's close, but we prophesy in part. Again, it's like looking out of a window and it's dark outside. You can visually see what's going on, but you can't see everything clearly. So we weren't given every single thing in terms of, okay, what's 5 million times 200,000? Oh, I know that easily from the top of my, that don't matter. That's not what salvation comes from. Okay. How do you, if you want to get the most nutrients and you want to build up muscle and this and that, name 5 different things I could do to such and such. And certain brothers may be knowledgeable on certain things, but that has nothing to do with salvation. When it comes to salvation, when it comes to things that matter, brothers are telling you 144% truth, which again is no different than 100%. Because once you hit 100%, you can't get no more perfect than that. So if I was to say 100%, if I was to say 144,000%, 1,000,000%, infinity percent, it's no different than saying 100%. But people get caught up on words. Okay. The men in this ministry who are of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, they're telling you 100% truth. Okay. Because there's no lie of the truth. 1 John 2 and 21 again. I have not written unto you because you know not the truth, but because you know it, and that no lie is of the truth. Let's jump down to 27. But the anointing which ye have received of him abideth in you, and ye need not that any man teach you, but as the same anointing teach you of all things, and is truth, and is no lie, even as it hath taught you, ye shall abide in him. So we have 144% truth because we've been anointed. Okay? We've been anointed. We have an unction from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai to know all things. I should have read this first. 1 John 2 and 20. But ye have an unction from the Holy One, and ye know all things. So knowing all things, that's 144% truth. That's 100% truth. That's 101% truth. knowing all things that are weightier in terms of what it requires for you to be saved. How are you going to be delivered from the destruction to come? Is knowing how to bench press, is knowing how to run fast, is knowing how to pull women. Are all these things foundation? Are all these things fundamental to your salvation? No, that has nothing to do with anything. You know, how many men are going to die within the first wave of judgment? We don't know. That doesn't matter. You know, how many of the elect are in California? How many of the elect are in Minnesota? How many of the elect are in Florida? We don't know certain things, but it does not take away. We have 100% truth when it comes to things that concern your salvation. OK, and then as a body collectively, because each of the brothers represent a member of the body of Yahweh Shai. So let's say you ask a brother a question and he says, I don't know. Well, there's another member in the body who may know that answer. So even when you collectively look at the body, we know all things, because what one brother lacks, another brother can get. Well, what that brother lacks, the other brother can get. OK, but we have an unction. We've been gifted with the Holy Spirit to know all things that are important concerning our salvation. OK, and that's what the prophets teach. Now let's go to 1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 9. Receiving the end of your faith, even the salvation of your souls, because that's what it's about. It's about the salvation of your soul. It's not about knowing a whole bunch of things that don't matter. We're telling you 144% truth when it concerns salvation. OK, receiving the end of your faith, even the salvation of your souls, of which salvation the prophets have inquired and searched diligently, who prophesied of the grace that should come unto you. OK, so the men of the Lord who have diligently inquired this ministry, who have diligently sought out salvation and what it takes to receive salvation, are giving you 100 or 144%, 144,000%, a million percent. It's no different than 100%. Once you're at 100%, you're capped off. Just like if you was to take water, OK, and you pour it in a cup all the way to the brim where the water is overflowing now, you can't pour more water in the cup because the cup is already full to its 100%. So there's no difference between 100% and 144%. And a lot of people get caught up in that because a lot of these other camps, they can't confidently say they have all the truth because the Lord isn't supping with them. But the Lord's men have an unction to know all things concerning what matters, concerning your salvation. All right. Let's go to Matthew 23 and 23. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment. So we're giving you 100% doctrine when it comes to judgment. Mercy, we're giving you 100% doctrine when it comes to mercy. Faith, we're giving you 100% doctrine when it comes to faith. These ought ye to have done and not leave the other undone. So if we say, hey, we're giving you 144% truth, that's because we're teaching you the weightier things, which includes salvation. OK, not things that don't really matter right now. That's why we prophesy in part, not because we don't know all the truth that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai has given us, but because there's many things that we may not know. I don't know when Yahweh Shai is going to be sent back. We prophesy in part. OK, I don't know exactly what his chariot's going to look like. We prophesy in part. OK, but we know 144% truth, no different than 100%. So let's read this here. Let me get this out the way, actually. This is James chapter 4 and 17. That's not it. Let me try 3 and 17. James chapter 3 and verse 17. But the wisdom that is from above is first pure. So if your wisdom is pure, that means there can't be any lie. OK, just like if you take water, If you mix it with any other substance, just a little bit, it's no longer pure. The same with this truth. But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy. So if you are in this ministry and you're teaching this word with pure wisdom and without partiality, is that not 100% truth? Is that not 144% truth? Okay. So again, there are men on this earth with 144% truth, which is just a fancy way of saying 100% truth. It's no different. 1 Corinthians chapter 9 and verse 25. Let's go back to 24. 1 Corinthians chapter 9 and verse 24, and I'll take it down to about 26. Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize, and the one that receives the prize is speaking of the body of Yahushua collectively. Okay, because we're one body, although there are many men putting in work who are laboring, who are plowing, but collectively we make up one body, and that one body are going to be the ones who win this race. Okay. So run that ye may obtain, and every man that striveth for the mastery. So if you're striving for mastery, that means 100% or 144% truth. And every man that striveth for mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. Verse 26. I therefore so run, not as uncertainly. So we don't run being uncertain. If you're uncertain, that means you don't have 100% truth. That means there's holes in your doctrine. But if you run certainly, that means you would have 144% truth. Okay. Although we prophesy in part, we look through a glass darkly. We can't see everything, but we see enough. Okay. I therefore so run, not as uncertainly. So fight I not as one that beateth the air. So we're not shadow boxers, man. We're really in this fight in hopes to receive salvation, which comes through the full belief, the full doctrine of what it would require for us to receive salvation. Okay. Galatians chapter 5 and verse 7. Ye run well. Remember, we're not in this race to run partially. Okay, we're hoping to master this truth. Okay, we want to be perfect with our doctrine, because no lies of the truth. Ye did run well, who did hinder you, that ye should not obey the truth. And there's no lie of the truth. Remember that. This persuasion cometh not of him that calleth you. A little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. So just a small lie turns complete truth into a lie. Okay, just a little lie makes truth into a lie. Okay, just like a little leaven leavens up a whole lump. You mix anything that's not of this truth with this truth, it now becomes tainted. Just like if I say, hey, you're an Israelite and Esau Edom is the so-called Chinese man and they can be saved. Well, I just lied to you. Although I put some truth in there, but if you mix that truth with the lie, now it's officially a lie. Although you can draw some truth out of what I said being, the first thing I said, but then going into how the so-called Chinese are Edomites and they can be saved, well, that would be a complete lie, which will make the whole doctrine a lie. Okay. So we have to run in this race with the mentality of having 144% truth. We can't be in this ministry half-assing. And as I like to say, the Most High, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, gave every individual 2 bottom butt cheeks because he doesn't want us being half-assed with anything. When it comes to this truth, we got to have 100% truth. And anyone saying they don't have 100% truth, you have to watch those men. Now, saying you have 100% truth doesn't mean you know the answer to every question in the world. But when it comes to things pertaining to your salvation, brothers have 144% truth. All right, which is again another fancy way of saying 100%. All right. So, Lord willing, that should answer enough, So I'll close it there. I'm gonna give all thanks and praises unto our power, the power of Israel, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Wa Rakakwadash. Hey, Lord willing, this was edifying. Shalom.